I know.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, hey guys, romance is in the air. Or maybe somebody's just cooking muffins. I can't tell.
Welcome to Drastic Art Measures.
Welcome back, guys. Thanks so much for joining us this week. We were scrambling around, and again, I don't know if you were following the feed right before this, because we're trying to stream to Facebook, and if you followed us every week, you know that it's like we're wrestling with a gorilla. I don't know what the deal is, but the feed will work for a few minutes, and then it just goes away, and it's Facebook doing it. Maybe because they're new to live feeds, but
I don't know. I think it has something to do with we're using this thing called X Broadcaster, and I really think it has it has to do with the communication between X Broadcaster and Facebook. But regardless, if you're watching this on YouTube, score.
Yeah, that's true. And I just turned my mic on, so you might be able to hear me now. Sorry. But yeah, so it's kind of a thing, but we're wanting to get on Facebook because, I don't know, we've got so many Facebook friends, and I don't know, it's a social place and all that. But tonight, though, it's all about romance, and we're going to keep trying to put things over on Facebook tonight, so we'll see.
Yeah, so if you see me messing around, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. But, the main thing, though, is the YouTube channel, and it's been really cool. We thought when we started this, maybe if 6 people watched, we'd be really happy with it because, we're just like, yeah, that'd be cool. In the last week, we've had just under 20,000 people on all the videos we've been putting out, and we've been putting it out on different things. So like on YouTube, our YouTube channel, we're not getting that many hits from it, but we're reposting the videos in different places and on the website and stuff, so we're getting a lot of click-throughs on things like that. So it's been really cool. It's been, it's amazing to me.
Yeah, it's been fun. So be sure and comment, let us know what you're into, subscribe, tell your friends.
Yeah, please, because man, it's I don't know, it's getting cool. It's getting fun. I want to show you what I've been working on before we go on. This though is the Elvis painting from last week. So there's that.
Here, let me do a close up.
Cool.
Nice.
So there's that. So we worked on him last week, and then this is a commission that I worked on this week, and I've got some other stuff around here, but have some other things. Oh, and let me show you this. And I just want to show you this briefly. But so I worked on this painting this week too, and it's a commission as well. And I actually did a whole video of me painting this one. Let me see if I can get that back up there with that. I think that'll hold. So I did a video of me painting that one, and I haven't posted it yet, but I'm going to post that as a fast video. One of those that we put out on Mondays where they where it's like 2 or 3 minutes, and then you're done with the painting. So I wanted to show that. I put it, actually that painting was also in another video that I did, I think on Tuesday. Every Tuesday we're going to try to have a Technique Tuesday. So we're going to try to release a video every day, roughly. Monday through Friday. On Friday's a live show. But, so every day we have something coming out, because, I don't know, I think about art every day, so we thought it'd be cool if we had a little 5 minutes every day that, we could talk about art. So Tuesday is Technique Tuesday, and last Tuesday we did a black and white grayscale sort of painting, and I showed how I did the Elvis painting, and then also with the Jesus painting.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. Last week we talked about black velvet, and you said the two most common things painted were it was Jesus and Elvis.
Yeah.
And black velvet. And it just worked out. That's what I was working on.
Yeah, and now I feel like we have a permanent fixture in the studio with Elvis over here. I'll show you guys. He's now hanging out with us on the fireplace. I kind of dig him there. It's cool.
That's funny. We have two Elvises in here, so we're surrounded by Elvi.
Elvi.
But so it's been cool, and it's been, like I say, guys, I'm so thankful for you guys joining in for this, because we're just a couple of art nerds. We really are. We don't, we'd be doing art stuff on Friday night anyway, but it's so much more enjoyable to be doing it with you guys.
Oh, and we should give some shout outs to people that are joining us. We got Valerie and Sue.
Oh, hey, Valerie.
Kim Sims with us.
Valerie, I just replied to a lot of your comments on the YouTube channel. You're like, hey, I'll see you Friday and all that. And I'm so sorry. I'm horrible at finding things. I'm getting better now. which is why I found them. So I wrote you back. So if you got a lot of like, hey, thank you, that's why.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
And old Unc is joining us from the deep blue sea, so he must be on the rig.
Oh, well.
That's cool.
Well,
hope the reception is okay.
Well, old Unc, Beverly gave me a call I just found it today. My phone is on its way out, and every once in a while it comes to life. And but she sent me a message, so I need to call her back. But I just found it, so I'm sorry. If you talk to her before I do, please tell her I got her call. But thanks for joining us. Be safe out there, man.
For sure. So, what's the dealio for tonight?
All right. Well, this is actually a commission piece, unless they don't want it, and then it's a piece I just have. That's the way most commission pieces work in the real world now. Well, but this is going to be a 2-foot by 3-foot painting, and so it's pretty big. You know, it's not huge, but it's pretty big.
Do you already have the drawing on it?
Well, it has a little bit of a drawing. I wanted to show some of the drawing, so it has a bit of a sketch. So it has a little bit. But I wanted to give an idea, too, about how I go about putting a composition down. Because, if you have any questions about that, like how do you decide? I know that a lot of artists, or people that are wanting to get into art, they want to get into it all the way up until they're facing that blank canvas. And then they're like, oh, my goodness, such a blank spot. What do I do? Well, there's some things you can do to make it a little bit easier, so I thought I'd go through that. I did do a little bit of sketching, and of course, since I can't see, I sketch with lines that I can touch and feel. And I did that a little bit earlier, but...
And they're all white, so of course we can't see them.
Yeah, they're all white, so it's probably hard to see. If you see a bit of a glare, it's some of the paint that I use to draw on this is a glossy paint, which actually feels very different than this rough canvas. The rough canvas is also a matte, which also adds to the textural difference between the two. So sometimes I can draw, like the paint that I'm going to draw with tonight, actually doesn't have much of a thick texture, like not much of a raised texture off the surface, but it's very slick. So this canvas has what they call a medium tooth. It's rough. It's not the roughest canvas. It's not the slickest, but it's pretty rough. So whenever you put a really slick paint on it, and it dries slick, you can definitely tell a difference. So I'm going to draw with black lines so you'll be able to tell it and see it. But so let me get started with that. And hey, first one. Holy crap! Holy moly! It's the first time I picked up the. I don't know how long.
Well, I should say, old Unc is signing off. I think he just wanted to say hi, but they frown upon, I guess, live streaming in the Gulf. Maybe it's too much bandwidth. I don't know, but
well,
thanks for saying hi.
Yeah, thanks so much.
And Valerie's asking, where is Mama Debbie? That's a good question.
Oh, Mama Debbie
a very good question.
Is with the other Unc in New Orleans. So
yeah, anybody out there that watches regularly, if Wendell is, John has a very, very large family, specifically on his mom's side. So she's got a lot of siblings, and Wendell is her youngest brother. And he lives in New Orleans, and so she's out there now visiting him and having all the fun. So she said she might tune in, but who knows how many hurricanes later that'll happen.
Yeah,
so.
The drink, not the
the drink, definitely not the weather. But so, what are you laying down now?
Well, right now, I was thinking maybe the best way to get to talk about breaking up the canvas would be to just go ahead and block in the people a little bit. And blocking is just a term, that where you start putting color down, where you start deciding where something is going to live on the canvas. It's a very Bob Rossian way to talk about it. So this is going to live right here, and what I'm drawing in here, so I'm starting with the detailed stuff. I don't normally do this. I don't normally start with detail kind of stuff.
What are you drawing? What are you laying down? What is that?
Well, I kind of want to see if you can guess.
Oh.
Because if you can't guess,
then it's gone awry.
Yeah, everything's gone awry. And I'm working with this paint that dries really fast, but I wanted to go ahead and start with this mysterious object that I'm painting now that hopefully will. And I also want to, I should let you guys, well, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you anything.
Well, what is the paint that dries really, really fast?
It's a high flow acrylic paint, and then I have a habit of mixing other things in with it. So it just depends on how I want it to feel. So I want this to dry really quickly, and I notice if you mix a little bit of a UV medium in with it, that'll make it dry pretty quickly.
So when you take a like when you've got that kind of down, can you show us what the bottles sort of look like?
Yeah, you betcha. And I will. I'll show you the bottle. The only thing though about that,
You've covered it in paint.
well, that and I use when a bottle goes empty, I don't necessarily throw it away. It's an art bottle, so I mean, if you can, a way to save a little money and to get really good quality bottles. Sometimes you can go to the art stores and buy bottles, but I don't know, they don't work as great sometimes as the ones that paint comes in. So whenever a color or a paint that has a really good bottle that I like, I'll save the bottle and I'll refill it with a medium. So most of my paints, even though they look like they're in the store brand thing, it's a different mixture inside.
Oh, okay.
So, and it makes it quicker, and that's, hey, remind me to show that in a second.
Okay.
Because I started drawing, I get distracted, and so, but I do. It's a really good point, man. So I got romance in the air.
I was gonna say, because I know what the painting is in general. I know what it's generally about. I don't know what the imagery is specifically. I was gonna ask if we were letting the crowd in on the fact that it's romance in the air.
Yeah, ooh la la. Romance in the evening. I won't sing, I promise. I'll stop that. So yeah, this is a very romantic painting, and I actually, to tell you the truth, I was kind of torn. Like I was thinking about painting like a more, I don't know, like a sensual sort of painting. And then I was thinking, let's go mean. Maybe I could do like a sexy vixen sort of thing, or
yeah, like villainous or something.
Yeah, villainous, or then I was thinking maybe steampunk, and then I thought, no, I want to do something sweet and romantic, and so that's where I landed up. So, can you start to be able to tell what this is a little bit?
No.
No?
I mean, I thought maybe shoes, but I know it's not. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, well, and I mean, part of it also, the subject matter is the fact that we're preparing for a big festival in Houston. So, we have to like strategically plan, you've got to get a certain number of paintings done before this festival so that we have inventory.
Yeah. And I'm like a year behind in commissions, so
yeah.
So I'm trying to do as many commissions as I can, but then we do a lot of traveling. We have, to go to do events and stuff, and to help support causes and things that are, that are really amazing things, and then trying to, also get the work done, and then, like be able to make new paintings. And
So your imagery is, you've got to think about what's I hate to say it, but what people like, what's popular, and you make, your rain paintings and super colorful stuff is, people tend to like, so that usually sometimes drives what you paint.
Well, thank you. Yeah, but you've got to be in the right mood. I mean, like I like to paint lots of different things, which is helpful. I mean, because there's so many different. I mean, I'll get in the mood for a puppy or a kitten or something. So I mean, most of the things that I like to paint, people usually tend to enjoy. I mean, not saying I don't. Gosh, that sounded so conceited. I don't mean that my paintings are all that. I just mean that the subject matters that I tend to gravitate towards, other people tend to like too, I guess. Which makes sense. If one person likes something, other people do too. But I get really bored. Like if I just did flowers all the time, I'd get really bored of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But there's other people though that can do flowers, and they do incredible work. Like just mind-numbing work. And they find the nuances and the to be able to make subtle changes with it that I think is really cool. There's a one sec. Sorry,
Well, I should say, Ian Jackson's joined us, says hello, And Valerie wondered if the jelly beans that we ate last week made Debbie sick.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's why she wasn't here.
Yeah, maybe that's why she left and went to.
Yeah, really. She's like, I'm not doing that again. But no. She's in New Orleans having fun.
I haven't heard from her yet.
And Valerie's behind on lots of work, and Ian Jackson says I'll go as far as the Love Boat theme music, but not more with the love music.
Okay. Let me turn this like this.
Well, and speaking of, is this a vertical?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there you go. I can see it now.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, cool. It's just blocked in. So
is she just in underwear?
Maybe. No. There's going to be a skirt there and everything.
Oh, okay.
I'm just blocking in the shape so that I know this is the area where I want the peeps.
Nice.
Well, thank you. Well, cool. Well, if that makes more sense, then I'm going to put it. I've learned there's some things that help save time. One thing is to learn how to paint upside down and sideways and in different angles, and especially when I first started painting, having a son and all, it changes your life in lots of ways. But one of them is I used to paint like 16 hours a day or so, and because you're what else you gonna do?
What else? Obviously.
Yeah. So, but with the sun, things get different a little bit sometimes. But I would paint like when I'm standing up, and I would slowly get lower and lower until finally I'm on the ground. I'm sitting on the ground, then I'm laying on the ground. So you learn how to paint from different positions. I could paint like this, and I could paint, and that helps sometimes. But
well, and I wonder if, this might sound far-fetched, but because you use your hands to see, and then your hands make the image in your brain, so it's not so much like like with sighted people where they rely on like the proportions that their eye is currently taking in like at that moment. If your hands are seeing it, and then you just you're making the image in your mind, so you can turn it up. You can turn it any way you want. So
yeah,
you're able to
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Impaired people are better.
Well, it's like when you painted Gandhi, and I watched the video for the first time. I was like, "You painted that entire thing upside down. That was crazy." Like, you didn't even register it. You were like, "Oh, well, that's just how it worked out."
Yeah,
that's weird. Nobody does that. I think it has to do with the fact that you flip an image or you do what you need to do because you're it's going through another step with your
maybe
hands.
So. Maybe
I don't know.
With that, I was like, I don't know. It's just too much trouble to lift the canvas up and have to spin
it.
just go upside down. No, but I usually we'll make it so that it's easier to paint. That way, I'll move it around.
Yeah.
Oh, about the paint.
Oh yeah.
This
which
camera should I do? This one?
Yeah, close up. That's good.
So this, as you can see, it's brailled here, and it's just black. But I mean, most of these bottles I keep so long, there's so much paint on them that if the braille kind of goes off of it.
Rotate it a little bit, because right now it's just like the back. Okay, there we go. Golden. Do you know what it's called?
Well, originally it was a carbon black in here. Now it's something different. It's still black though, but I can't remember. I'm trying to think where I put the bottle.
Valerie says she burns upside down. That's kind of cool.
Oh, well, that is cool, man.
You know what we
burn
need?
myself.
Yeah, well, I'd burn the house down.
Let me show you this real quick. And this is the same paint that's in here, but it has a different medium in it, and it's really thick. It's almost empty. I need to put more.
Oh yeah.
I got jugs of the stuff over there. So that is just unadulterated paint usually. And then I have other paint that I have a medium consistency. I don't have a black in here. But, so this is just a different tube. But I just fill these different tubes with different mediums and stuff. I'll mix them up. Makes it where you can go from one medium to another really easily. I just love it. I really do. Especially these little bottles. What do I do? Oh, I'll put it back. Good. I'm usually I'm pretty good at putting something back and then not moving it. And that I got off on a tangent. I need this painting in. I thought, oh man, I'm going to go through every one of my paintings and find it again.
Yeah.
That happens. To read all the little labels. These are really cool. Like these little bottles. One plus is that you can actually put a pretty good amount in there. If you're doing a giant painting. But if you're traveling, you can put a whole art kit in a really small amount of space, and it's the exact same kind of paints that you're using in the same bottles. It just, I don't know, for me, I know like, I don't know, like we do a lot of live events where if we're doing a show, I'll do a live painting demonstration. We're going to a thing, we're doing a talent show thing where I'll be doing it live for a bit, and it's a talent challenge for charity actually, which is a great charity, and it's amazing. So, but I always bring the paints I use every day in the studio, and there's no sort of lag room, you know, like you're not thinking like, oh, what's this, what's that. Okay.
Okay, so
Let me get back in.
Go ahead, paint. Do your thing.
Are you sure you guys on?
No, I always got some.
Okay, well.
Okay, I should say for oh my gosh, we mark the date in stone, but the Facebook feed is working first time ever.
Really?
Still, it's up. We always lose it like 10 minutes in. We lose it or 4 minutes
We've
in.
already lost it once tonight.
Yes, yeah, that was why that was the big headache.
Let me say really quickly, because any second the Facebook feed's probably going to go down. If you're watching on Facebook, if you want to chat, go over to YouTube, and actually in the YouTube you can just type in my name, John Bramblett, and it'll take you right to the channel. They let us change the channel, or they said, "Hey, do you want to change the channel?" We're like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, I'm trying to like I have multiple computers here, so I'm trying to I have a screen of the Facebook and a screen of the YouTube, and so I'm trying to juggle them both. But I should say Owen joined us over on the Facebook, so
hey,
that's cool. And then Claire Taylor said big event in Houston ? Can't wait.
Oh.
So we should like tell. You know what the big event in Houston is. I mean,
Oh, you know, if you're from Houston, you probably know about it. It's the art festival they have there, the Bayou City Art Festival.
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah, they have it twice a year. One time's in the park, which was crazy if you've ever tried to go there to it. And then the other one's downtown, which we've never done downtown before.
It's October 8th and 9th. So we'll head down there, set up on the 7th festival party 8th, 9th, and then, you know, and we're on, oh my gosh, I can't remember what street, but,
And we'll post it, though.
we'll for anybody out there that is in the Houston area and wants to come by and say hi or whatever, we'll post on our Facebook, like, a little dot where we are on a map, so you can come find us, because it is a massive festival. I think there's, like, at least 350 artists.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good, and I'll be painting live. Yeah, man, if you're in the Houston area, I would so love for you guys to come by and say hi. I mean, and we'll try to give you the inside scoop. You know, if you're working a festival like that, which we haven't done festivals for that many years, but they're fun, and the best thing about it, the reason we do them is because you get to actually visit with people and be around people, and it's it's a lot of fun. But we'll try to give you the skinny on what's going on at the festival, like where there's some cool artists for you to check out and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to swing by our booth, we'll definitely try to let you know all the fun things that are happening. Wait, let me tell you what I'm doing with this canvas right here.
Okay.
Now it's a 2 foot wide by 3 foot tall canvas, and the way what I'm going to do is that I've broken it up into basically thirds. So this bottom third is going to be the ground. One thing you can think of a canvas is being like a play where you have different acts going on, and it's not necessarily like 3 acts or 4 acts, but so like in this bottom third is where the main action is going to go, and it's actually going to go towards the middle a little bit. And as you can see, I have these lines that are coming down. So I have a line right here that sort of is taking the viewer's eye and it's gathering it and it's putting it up. This line over here is doing the same, and it's putting the focus of the viewer towards these people. But the people aren't in the center of the canvas. Usually with the main subject of a painting, you want it to be off a little bit, off center. You know, it's just like a movie. You know, if you think about that, you know, there's the main actor or whatever. They're not usually the first thing you see in a movie. Sometimes it is, but you'll have like, you know, the credits. It's kind of starting. The story will start. The Greeks are really good about that. Most of their stories were in media res. It starts in the middle. Star Wars is like that. You know.
All over the place.
So all the brilliant lit in the world, like Star Wars and Star Wars 5 and Star Wars 6 and every great story.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings 2, Lord of the Rings 3, Pirates 1, Pirates 2. No, I kid. No, but so you want the main subject to be there, but you're telling a story. So around here, up here, there's going to be a pathway, and then it's going to be a lot of color. It's going to be lots of blues over here and some yellows. Over in this area, this is a tree. There's going to be some more trees, and there's going to be some light posts and stuff coming in too. And the great thing about the light is that in a painting like this, your choice of color, you know, it's an important choice. It's not something you just sort of like, you know, stumble into. Although most of the time I get color from music. I'll listen to music and I'll pull the color, but I try to pick music that matches that feeling and matches the color. So, for this, it's going to be a romantic, sort of warm. The man, he's lifting the woman up. There's energy, there's action. It's so I want colors that are brighter, that are warmer, that have action, that kind of speaks to that, to what's going on here. So there's going to be lots of blues. They're like cerulean blues up in here, and some dioxazine purples, and some yellows, really light yellows to white, going into golden yellows, because the way that those play off of each other. Bright colors usually lend towards energy and things like that, and softer colors lend more towards serenity, peaceful. Not always. You'll find some, there's, one of the great things about art is that there's no 100% rule for anything. If you find a rule, you've got to break it, There's always something that'll break it. But on this, though, I want to have a lot of high energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cerulean blue in this, which is another little bottle where I mix things together. Not everything is the way it seems in here. And I'm going to take this brush, and I'm just going to start blocking out color. Now, the way that I did with these lines here and the people, where I blocked in, like, okay, I know I want this to be the focus, this bottom third over that. This is going to be the main act. This is like the, where the action is, the climax of it. But around it, though, I get to tell the story. So part of that, I'm going to do it with, I lost my rag. I lost my rag. So I'm going to go in. Now, this color in here is going to be important because it's going to be the background of it. And it's going to start to darken things. And a moment ago, I was just about to say, I'm going to have some lampposts going through there. And the great thing about that is that they're just kind of cool looking, or it's romantic. You're in a park, you have the lights and all. It's, this beautiful glow. But from a painting perspective, it also helps you lighten the painting up a little bit. If you're having lots of bright colors, that's great. But if you have too many colors, it can start to become muddy and dull. And we don't want muddy and dull. We want bright. So I'm putting this paint that I'm putting on here. It says ink, but I mix things in there, so it probably isn't just completely ink. But so for me, but it's very translucent, which you can see when I put it on here, that it's light, and that's the way I like it. It's very light, because I'm just going to do a wash, and I'm not too worried about making it perfect, because I don't want it to be perfect. Like, I don't want it to be one solid thing of blue, because that's not the way nature works. So I'm doing this. I'm letting parts of it dry a little bit. I'm whisking a little bit more on. It's going to be a little heavier in some places. It's going to be a little lighter in some places. And that's just the way that I want it.
See, I think that's an interesting point to make, because I think people want, the natural instinct is to, have an even gradient, a smooth blend. I know when I paint, I'm like, I want it perfectly blended to the next shade, and so that's a hard thing to fight.
Yeah, I fought it for years. Well, you probably can't see the camera now. I won't try to move it because I'll never get the camera back. But around me, there's paintings that I did like 7 or 8 years ago, and there is no shading. Everything is a solid, pure color. No blending. No, if they touch on a rigid line. You guys are not going to blend together. You don't even look at each other. It's just very, very rigid. But it's because I needed to control the paint, and I think part of it I needed for myself to know that I could control the paint. And it took a while for me to let myself go a little bit, saying, maybe Bob Ross wasn't completely wrong saying that there's some happy accidents with this. So, and I started thinking, if I'm painting a natural scene, then I need to let natural things happen. And so I'm trying to let the color fall the way that it would in a natural scene, just by letting the color flow that way.
Well, Deliberately Creative Stephanie Bergrens asked, is this going to be an autumn setting in this painting?
Yes.
Yes.
And I was checking out your videos earlier, by the way, on YouTube, and but I was checking them out a little bit, and mostly what I know is that I need to go check them out more. I need to check them out with Jackie.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Because so there's some things that I'd like for you to describe to me about what's going on and all.
Okay. Yeah.
In them, but
And then Ian Jackson said, any Star Wars is good for me so long as they don't Jar Jar Binks or Ewoks.
Yeah, man.
Whatever. Ewoks are awesome. I love Ewoks. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. Jar Jar Binks was a little ridiculous. It was over the top. But what are you going to do? You got to have some silly character, whatever. But the Ewoks, I love the Ewoks. Who didn't want an Ewok as a pet? I've got one tattooed on my arm. It's itty bitty, yeah, it's funny. He's holding a little staff.
What did you got going on up there? I don't know. How many face tattoos are you?
I know, right?
That's right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Ewoks, but you know, hold it once. I'm sorry. My fingers are doing the walking, and okay, sorry. I mixed my paintings up over there a little earlier, and I got them out of my usual order. So now I'm like, what's going on? You know, I like Ewoks first time I saw them and all, but now I kind of skipped through that part, to be honest, a little bit. You know, and I actually, and people are going to hate me for this, but well, I mean, if you're into Star Wars, but I kind of skipped through the Yoda scenes, too.
Well, see, I don't get that. I'm surprised you skipped through them.
I've just seen them so much that, you know, it's just
but it's all about, like, the
spaceships and TIE fighters. And
but it's the pace of the movie. You have to, like, pause and take a breath in between the craziness, and that's your breath.
So back to the
and that's your wisdom right there, man. You're missing out on some wisdom. I'm just saying.
Well, I will say this. I've never cut a scene that was just all droids or all spaceships.
Yeah. Well, this is true.
So up here, I'm blocking in more color. And, oh, guys, by the way, this is a 2 foot by 3 foot painting, so I'm probably not going to finish tonight. But there was just a few things I wanted to make sure that I got over with. And I want to try to get this blocked in, and if I don't finish it tonight, well, I'm not going to finish the whole thing because there's parts of it with paint knives and whatnot. But I'm going to finish it this weekend for sure, and I'll have it posted. Monday is the Drastic Art Measures Fast video, or I could post the one of Jesus if y'all rather. But I think this would make more sense.
Yeah, either. Yeah, both. Why not?
Well, if I don't do it this one, I might do that one next week or. No. So I'm just putting in. Okay, what's going to happen? You can probably tell there's going to be this pathway coming in. I'm going to have a wet street. Ever since Hurricane Sandy in New York, I paint wet streets, and I just love it. I love the inner. I mean, dry streets are so boring to me now. So I love the idea of the fresh, clean. A rain. How just after it, everything is clean. It just seems like a new start. I just love the symbolism. It's there's a few things in my brain that just click. I'm like, yes, I'm more of it. I love it. It's like sailboats. I don't sail. I've never sailed a boat. I've driven plenty of motorboats, but never a sailboat. And I love the symbolism, the symbology of that. Where you can get in a sailboat and just head off. I just love that. So I'm going to paint upside down for a bit.
You're going to paint upside down?
Well, I'm just blocking in color.
Oh, it's weird. Well, and I mean, whenever you shift the canvas vertically, the top is chopped off. So, just so I'm sure you know. This part, right? The top, yes. No.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, you see that? Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
the part I'm tapping. Can you see this?
Yes, you're good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I wasn't sure if you meant. Because this is the top of the painting now. So you can't see the top.
Yeah.
So
how, it almost seems weird that you're putting down some red on that corner, and how are you going to blend? Those are all such different colors.
These aren't going to blend.
Oh, they're just backgrounds to what's going on top, right?
Yeah, it's backgrounds, and now over this I'm going to paint trees, and. And I know I probably could save a lot of time by not painting in every little thing about it, but part of that is, and if you're doing this yourself, and if you've got vision and all, and yada, you may not have to do this. I do it because whenever I'm using a palette knife, I know sometimes there's little bits that there might be little bubbles that you have to let the white canvas come through. I don't like that. I don't like for there to be things that I didn't plan on. I mean that are like that. Parts of the canvas I didn't cover. Sometimes I want not to cover all the canvas and leave it a little raw, but that's a choice. So if you make that choice, that's cool. But So there's two reasons I'm doing this. Even though most of this is going to be covered up with the tree's really thick paint, I'm going to use a paint knife for. And part of it's so that there won't be anything shining through, but the other thing is that even though I'm going to use a paint knife for a lot of it, I'm going to go in with some glazes and washes as well. So some of this will shine through, and as the light goes through each layer of paint, it'll get darker and lighter. Like the value of the color will change depending on what's down here. So parts of this I'm going to have blue, and the light coming through the paint hitting that blue, even if it's like a yellow dab of paint that's thick, will be different than if you put the yellow over here in the red.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's just a way to give more undulation, more change, more complexity to your painting, by not always just painting on a white canvas, and not always on a black canvas, but or a gray canvas. Like it doesn't have to be one color. So I like blocking in my canvases.
That should be your technique of the week.
Oh.
You know what would be cool? Get out of my head. You know what would be cool is to do an experiment.
Ooh.
I think it's science. I think what we should do is we should get some blocks and paint them just like you have them blocked out there, and then do like a dab of yellow on each, and then shine them under different lights and see what happens. We need to do that. It's happening. It's gonna be a video.
I'm all about that. That'd be cool.
Science.
Yeah. You got some Star Trek uniforms. Maybe you should wear like a Star Trek officer's uniform when we do our science.
Oh my gosh.
That way it's even more sciencey.
Yeah. You know, you want to hear something like it's, well, this is ridiculously nerdy, but so John and I have started filming Art News prior to the show because we're trying to release videos at different times. But anyway, so I I try to figure out something to wear that's a little interesting, whatever. So when we were filming it, I literally whipped out my science Star Trek little dress, and I have like the original outfit, not TNG, nothing like that. Pulled it out of the closet.
Nice.
Yeah, pulled it out of the back of the closet and squeezed into it, and quickly realized that wasn't gonna work because, well, it doesn't fit me really anymore. But
that thing, when you bought that thing, it was tiny.
I know. So I you have things in your closet where you're like, I'm gonna fit into that and kill it, and well, I haven't yet to do that. But then I was thinking for the Art News, I was like, you're only gonna see me from like waist up, so I could still squeeze into this thing, and it just didn't work out, and so anyway, one of these days. I also have a Command gold one, but we'll see.
Well, you're gorgeous, baby.
Thanks. It is the romance show.
Okay, so I'm just going in and I'm blocking. So right now, this looks like somebody from the 70s has had the wrong acid, probably. But that's okay. I can live with that. We're just blocking it in.
Well, I should say the people in the chat agree with me. They either know the feeling or half their closet consists of smaller clothes.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
So.
I'm with you too, man.
Yeah.
But I'm on everything you can see diet. So this right here is actually going to end up being a lot lighter than what it is, but I'm going to go ahead and put the color down, because I'm not sure exactly where I want the lightness to start and stop. And it's going to be undulated a little bit. So there isn't going to be this hard division, especially because this hard division kind of goes of color, the yellow and the blue. Right, it happens to be where this line is. But so all this is going to be mixed up a little bit. Let me spin this around.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So, is it hard to tell when it's not in the right angle?
It's a little weird, but it's cool. I think we get it.
Okay, cool. Well, all right. So
I wonder if you have to, like, before you initially start laying down color, you have to have a game plan, or do you just go with the flow?
Well, I do have a game plan. I do have a game plan. Sorry, I'm joking. I did. I had an idea in mind where I'm sort of going around in a circle of this. Where I know I want cooler colors over here. And the big reason I want the cooler colors on the right side of the painting is because I'm going to have the lampposts and stuff on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
So the left side's going to be more fiery anyway. So it's going to have more light, and then over here it's going to cool things off a little bit. And this is where the main tree. So I'm going to have this big tree coming up right through here that offsets them a little bit, which is why, like, you know, they couldn't really be on this side of the canvas because I'm going to have this big tree, and I'm going to have a couple other trees coming up, and I'm going to have some light posts and some little smaller, thinner trees over here, where it's all fiery and brighter, more energetic colors. And then, but there's going to be a lot of different colored leaves and stuff in there. So it'll be warmer and cooler, and I think that, and then this is going to be lighter towards the middle, so it's going to push a person's viewpoint, you know, up. So the idea, you know, whatever you see a painting, it's very much like seeing a film, where the director decides what you're going to look at. And with a film, it's easy to understand because, you know, the camera's there, and, you know, he's cutting from scene to scene to scene, you're looking at the screen. But on a painting, you're doing much the same thing, where with the shapes and the angles and the colors, the eye tends to go towards certain colors and certain shapes and follow certain patterns in a particular way. So if you know that, you can sort of lay out a story for this. So that I know, like, whenever the way the colors are going to be here, the eye is going to naturally just force right up through the middle a little bit towards the left and notice these people, and it's going to capture the color as it wants to come back down towards the people. So as the eye does that, it's going to be able to take in a good chunk of the color while being aware that the people are there before really focusing in on the details of the people, of what's going on.
So how come you didn't draw in...
Or I'm crazy. That's true.
Clearly you're crazy. How come you didn't draw in the light posts, or you just, you know how that is going to go, so you're just there?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm not sure exactly where I want them. Like I know that I want them there, and I'm not sure how much brush and stuff that I want either. Mm-hmm. So I'm just blocking it in because I know I want to let those colors dry a little bit. And then I was going to work on the ground down here just a little bit. Let's see, what did I do? I keep putting up color. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to wait on that. One moment, I put up my...
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for my purple. I keep thinking. I keep putting things. I mix this up and yeah. It messes
well, another thing that's kind of funny about your paint situation you've got going on over there tonight is that for anybody watching, earlier we have this box that we're going to talk about in a little bit that has some stuff in it, but so I thought I had the great idea that I was going to paint this thing, and so for the first time in, like, what, I don't know, 2 years.
Oh, did you mix these up?
No.
Okay. So good. It's not me.
No.
I get to blame somebody. I got so excited there for a moment.
Well, so I came in here and I was like, well, you were right here. Well, I guess you knew I was doing it. You were sitting right here.
Oh, well, I wouldn't aware.
And anyway, so I came in and I was like, I'm gonna paint this box and it's gonna be a giveaway and da da da. Anyway, it went awry. And so the whole time I was like, man, I don't want to move these paints around because John's not going to be able to find them and whatever. So I'm pretty sure I put all the paints in the right spot, like right back where they were.
I'm sure you
So
did.
Anything that's moved around, that's not me. That's
I'm sure. Whatever.
You just wanted an scapegoat.
I do. Can I get one for Christmas? Forget a pygmy goat. I want a scapegoat.
You know,
Awesome.
Speaking of goats, you want to hear something oddly funny that has nothing to do with what we're doing here?
Sure.
Okay, so I saw on the internet today that sheep and goats can interbreed. Did you know this?
Huh? What do they make, a shoat?
Yes.
Or a geep?
Yes, that's exactly what they're called. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, gosh, that's.
I know. I was like, well, I should say part of it was because, like, we
They need to come up with a better name because that took me like a second. That's a horrible name.
maybe that's the perfect name because it only took you a second.
Maybe.
But I was looking up some oddball female male things because we were doing the romances in the air show with you and your couples and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I stumbled on this whole like I don't know how the internet works, but so goats and sheep can intermingle, and you have those geep or shoats. Which I would love a tiny one. If that was legal in the Denton County area, I'd be on this. I'd own one. That sounds adorable.
You know they pee in their own mouths.
I think you're crazy. I think you just had a bad one. You just had...
It wasn't mine. I had a goat. It was a sweet little white goat, pygmy goat.
And it peed in its mouth.
No.
Well, then what goat are you talking about?
Billy goats.
Well, I don't have to get a billy goat. I can get a female goat. Right?
I don't know.
I mean...
I don't think they're allowed in Denton.
Oh, I think they are. You just don't want me to have one.
Well, maybe it's time for our news.
You just want to change the subject.
What? Yeah.
All right. Should we do art news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What's
Okay.
about goats?
All right. Art news, people. Hey everyone, it's John and Jackie, and welcome to Art News.
Hey guys, welcome. Well, you know, the world is a-changing. Back in the olden days, like to find something special or some sort of unusual item, you'd have to actually go and travel. You'd have to go to faraway cities or countries and attend special events like world fairs and things like that. But now, special curated items can actually just be sent right to your doorstep. And it's sort of a part curated event, part surprise, but it's catching on in a big way. There was one that I heard about, and it's called Try the World. And they take items from global cities all around the world, and they send them to you every month. So you get something, without all the hassle of actually having to meet people or go places or do things. But of course, you also don't have the security pat downs and bed bugs and trying to remember, not even if you're drinking bottled water, not to use the ice cubes that are there because you don't want to spend the rest of it in the time.
Yeah, I've seen those subscription boxes. I know there's a site that I've perused for Christmas shopping called Man Crates, and you can get different boxes that have anything from samplings of whiskey to pipe making kits, and that sounds awesome.
I saw the pipe one on the Facebook scroll, and I thought, oh, that sounds like fun. You get to whittle with a purpose. There's one called the Apoca Box, and it gets you ready for any apocalypse that's out there. So if you're worried about zombies, any of that, no worry. Every other month they'll send you something to help you get ready, which is pretty helpful. You can't make or collect art if you're dead. So
I want a chainsaw.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Get rid of all those sharks.
And if you don't have enough jerks in your life, there's a company called 3 Jerks, and they'll actually send you a new jerky every month, which sounds pretty cool. They have one that's actually made with filet mignon, which they're running out of apparently, and it's pretty popular, I can imagine. And but I was thinking after a few years, it might get a little squirrely. I mean, or it might literally get squirrely because you start running out like, wow, we really got to wow the people. What are we going to have now? So.
Yikes.
But this whole thing inspired us, and for every live show, we give away free art. In this live show, we're going to give away a box.
Yeah, we thought we would fill a box with some random things that we, like. And so we've got little canvas art.
They're blank. You can make your own.
Yeah, you can paint on it. A little art kit thing. It's like pocket size. That's cute. And the weird root beer drink that John always has on the show that he's drinking.
Somebody is in for a real southern treat.
Lovely. And a little print of the adorable Echo. So along with some other things. So if you tune into the live feed, we always give away art, and we thought we would give this away.
That'll be cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Another interesting thing I came across this week was that in honor of the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, the National Air and Space Museum is doing their tour completely in Klingon.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The linguist that invented the language, his name is Mark Okrand, and he did the entire tour, recorded himself in Klingon. So, and if you check out the links below, you can see a behind the scenes video of him recording it, which I think is kind of interesting because He probably had to think of or make some words on the fly because words like north don't exist in Klingon and all of that.
You know what does exist?
What?
So drastic art. Just drastic art measures. Drastic art measures exist in Klingon. I love that.
Wow. He's the best, not me.
Our wedding reception was actually held in Cork Spar at a hotel in Vegas. It's not there anymore. But the entire floor was set up like it was Star Trek. And we had Klingons that were walking around the floor that was freaking my mom out. And
yeah, specifically the cleavage of the Klingon women was freaking your mom out.
And the Ferengi. There was one Ferengi that was trying to by Jackie, but he was really giving me a lowball sort of order, so offer there. So it wasn't, it didn't work out. But there was one thing though that was pretty cool. It was the museum that was hooked onto that. It was like a real museum, and it felt like you were in a real museum. They had exhibits for like the Mercury and Apollo astronauts, for the space shuttle, the Mars rover, all that kind of stuff. And then suddenly, there's the warp drive and Cochrane, the guy that invented it, and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
and it
was
said like it was real history. And
yeah, it was woven like seamlessly into the true history of space travel. It was pretty cool.
And I love how that now there's a real museum and has Klingon in it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I just get excited about that. There's something else that excites me, and that's South Korea. There's a sculpture garden there called Loveland.
Ooh.
It's erotic sculpture, and it's from artists all over the world sent stuff in there. The cool thing about it, well, really, the cool thing about it is that you can do whatever you want. There's no real rules, so you're allowed to touch the statues. You can climb on top of them. There's lots of
disinfect them.
Yeah, giant bottles of Purell. No, it is anything like that. It's a sculpture garden. It's but you can take all the inappropriate, fun-filled photos and things that you want. That your 9-year-old self would think was funny. Like I'm touching his bottom. I don't know, different things.
Nice.
So it's all silly. But the cool thing about it though is it makes me think that's the way museums were when they first started. Maybe not exactly like that, but when art museums first started, it was professors and rich people that would scour the earth, and they would come back and they would bring things back to their mansions and set up little exhibits. And because it was a home, if you went in there, it was considered rude. If you wanted to touch something, it would be rude if they didn't let you touch it, which is, vastly different than the way we have it now. And I think it's interesting, we've gone 180, that it would be, in the past, it would have been rude to not let you touch something, and now the only time you can touch something is if the entire museum is rude, which is kind of funny. Although we do art workshops all over the nation, and in most of our workshops in museums, the museum, they let people come in and touch things. So we kind of design it for that. So that's cool.
It's a lot of fun.
So if you don't want to go to South Korea, you can go to one of our workshops, I guess.
Yeah, another interesting thing is, anybody out there that might know this, that the Paralympics are going on in Rio right after the regular Olympics. And in order to commemorate this, the New York Times is doing a series of op-ed pieces from different perspectives of disabled people. And to accompany these op-ed pieces is The Art of Dadu Shin. And the particular one that you're looking at now is an op-ed piece by Daniel Simpson about being blind and his experience encountering a mother and son, and the son was going blind and all of that. But I really liked this piece when I saw it because what it is, for anybody out there that can't see it, it is split in half horizontally, and the top half is of a simple white figure in a black background with another figure in front of it, and then you mirror flip it to the bottom horizontal strip, and that same figure is holding on to a guide dog where it's super colorful and there's lots of other figures in it. And I really liked this particular piece. It came out on the 14th issue, but it made me think of John and how when he got Echo, his different aspects of his world sort of came alive. So be sure and look in the description for the links, and you can read the op-ed pieces and check it out. It's really interesting.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Man. Hey guys, we're a couple of art nerds here. I mean, we talk about art and we think about art every day, and which is why we're doing these videos. But I want to thank you for joining us with this, and please like and subscribe, and that actually helps a couple of ways. It makes us feel really good.
I'm fuzzy.
Yeah, and it also lets us know what to talk about. What you're into, because what you're into, man, we're probably into it too. So, thank you so much for that, and thanks again for joining us. And go out and make some art and have some fun.
Thanks. Okay, so that was our news. I should say,
Who knew that South Korea was such a sexy place?
such a sexy place. Let's see. I should say, I went ahead and told and told all the chat people that the purpose of the pre-taping was so we had a pee break.
Yeah, I have a bladder like a hamster. That's true.
So
Everyone
yeah.
knows this.
Yeah, and next time we'll tape a new one. So whoever's watching the live feed, it won't be something that you saw in our stream prior. Like live feed gets it first, and then we release it. So
yeah.
yeah, a couple
It was
people.
my mistake.
A couple people were like, yeah, I told them I was like, John was just excited.
Well, yeah, that and got confused and uploaded the wrong. Yeah.
So, and Stephanie said one of your workshops would be a wonderful opportunity, much better than South Korea. Well, and closer. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's true. The workshops are free too. They're always free. And
I should say, Kim said her husband has been part of the subscription box situation since, well, she didn't say since when, but a bar shirt of the month club, and now it's a guitar store shirt,
oh wow,
which I find fascinating because
cool.
I would collect some serious bar shirts.
Yeah, that's a bar shirt of the month. That's cool.
I went through a phase where I was doing like, I had this goal of doing a 5K every month, and so I just, oh my gosh, the shirts piled up. They pile up, and you don't want to get rid of them. So one of the ideas, I haven't done this because I just don't quilt or do fabric, but one of the ideas was to take those shirts and make like a blanket out of it. Some of my friends have done that, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, so Kim, if you ever want to convince your husband of a way to like do something with his shirts because there's no room in the drawer anymore, you could make him a blanket. That's what I was gonna do with my running shirts.
Really?
So, yeah, I just never did it because I hate to sew.
Yeah.
I don't even know how. So I mean, like I've had to like have friends over. One year I did Star Trek stockings for everybody, and I had to have a friend come over. Brian, I had to have a friend come over and help me sew, or even show me how. So yeah, there's that.
I sewed in home ec. I made a backpack and a giant stuffed chicken.
Why did you guys make a? Why a giant stuffed chicken? Why are you making chickens?
We had to make a stuffed animal of some kind, and
What an odd project in home ec. Because, I mean, in your home, you don't normally sew giant stuffed animals. I mean, when I was in home ec...
Well, you had to sew... You had to do 2 sewing projects.
Uh-huh.
One was a stuffed something. Because it's kind of easy. You just go around the edges, and then you stuff it full of stuff, and then you sew it up. So it's kind of an easy thing. And then the more complex thing was the backpack, which...
It was super complex.
Well, it looked like a great backpack. It was really fragile though. Like if you actually went and put books in it, I think it would just like rip off your arm, and it would just you'd have straps.
That's funny.
You'd end up with suspenders.
When I was in home ec, I think we only did one project. I know it was an apron. I know the one we did was an apron, and oh my gosh, that was my least favorite. I could not stand sewing. In fact, I don't know, I have this aversion to like fabric art. I don't know what it is, but even when I was in college and studying photography, one of my main instructors was a quilt artist, and I could not get into her work. Like I could not dig on the fabric incorporated. I mean, quilting. I don't know, but I think it's I could see like some aspect of it is cool. I guess. I don't know, I'm probably just making a bunch of people mad right now.
Well,
that are quilters.
I think everybody should keep a grain of salt that you do love Ewoks, so
right, and there's that.
So not everybody's perfect.
Okay, so what are you doing to the painting now? Oh my gosh, you have a lot more down on there since we rolled the art news. What is going on? Like you put stuff over the blue.
Chatty Cathy over there, guys.
Tell us what you're doing.
One sec. Okay. Yeah, well, I went in. I wanted to lighten some of these areas in the middle a little bit, and just start adding a little color. I didn't like the line that I had going to the side here. I want there to be that line, but I don't want it to be a dark line. I want it to be lighter. So I went in with some titanium white and lemon yellow, and started blocking that out a little bit. So there's still going to be a line there with color, but but I'm going to diffuse it a little bit. I've added in some areas where I know that I kind of want it light and dark, which is kind of what I'm doing down here near the base of the tree. And so I'm going in now because I'm thinking I want to paint this tree in here. Now, if you're painting a tree, there's a rule. It's always bigger towards the base of any part of it. So the tree is always bigger towards the bottom part of the tree, according to the top. Every limb that comes out of the tree is bigger at the end part, the part next to the tree, and it gets thinner as it goes out. And it's the same with every limb that goes off that limb. So if you're trying to paint a realistic tree, just make sure that when you're holding the paintbrush and you're making the lines away from the limb, to push down a little harder when it's closer to the tree if you're doing a thick sort of line like that, and then let up as you're going out a little bit, and it helps to get more of a natural look. So that's something with trees that I just noticed where you have to be careful, because if you end up having a really thick line in the middle of a tree, it just throws, a person's mind knows, like that's not the way a tree looks. So that's my tree tip for you. So I'm just blocking in the space where I think I want the tree, and I'm gonna have to repaint all this. Like, so this isn't really, this is just so I can feel it and that I know kind of where I want to be. But when I put all this other color in, it's going to overlap that a little bit, so it's going to have to be repainted. I do a lot of work on a painting where I'm having to repaint areas that I painted. I know for some artists that would drive them nuts. Like, I mean, why have 10 layers of paint if you're only going to see the top layer? But for me, though, it helps me work out the composition. So, I mean, in my mind, I have the idea for a composition, but as you're working in real life, you start realizing the ideas you have in your mind, and when you put them, to fruition, when they actually start happening, sometimes it changes a little bit. So, this is just a way for me to think on canvas a little bit. I got some of that paint on there. Yeah, and sorry again, guys, for posting that news story. That was a flub up on my part. What we're gonna do from now on is have the live show where we put out the news segment for the very first time, and then that following Thursday we'll repost the news video as a separate video for anybody that just wants to see the news, or whatever they want to see what if we're talking about something or whatever. We'll have that then. On Monday, we're going to have the fast show, where it's just whatever painting done fast. And now this Monday, it's not going to be this painting. I can tell you for sure.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
I don't have the GoPro going.
Oh, man.
So that's all right. But that's all right. What I can do, though, is that I can post a video, like whenever we do this, whenever I start working on the knife techniques and stuff on this, and I start working on the painting past this, I'll film that. So I will have that, but it won't be the typical fast painting where it starts from the beginning to the end. But I will film that, though, because as I go into the knife techniques, I'll talk about it, and we can use it later for something, or a technique of the week.
Yeah. I think you should definitely, I mean, if you haven't thought about technique of the week yet, I think you should definitely discuss, like, the reflective properties of underneath color,
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. Maybe I should do that. Instead of having this be the one for Monday, have this be the Technique Tuesday.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'll finish this painting up, and we'll see it on Tuesday instead of Monday. And on Monday, I'll show the Jesus painting, which is just different. I don't do very many religious paintings, but I don't dislike doing them. I just don't do that many of them.
Well, I think it's difficult because there's so many idealistic images associated, and I mean, it's hard to break out of the box and all of that. I think yours is awesomely done, though. So
well, thank you.
Kudos.
Well,
so
thank you, I appreciate
I
that.
do want to say that Azir Muse has joined us. I think it's Ian. I think that's his name.
Hey, Ian.
And he said he was commenting on the North Korea thing, in the art news, and said that he saw. I'm trying to backtrack through the chat really fast. Oh my gosh, he watched something called Vice on how.
Oh, I love Vice.
What is that?
It's like a web. Well, it may be on TV somewhere, but it's a web show where they go in and they tell news stories about all kinds of stuff, corrupt governments, how guns get into things,
Oh, okay.
how just all sorts of stuff. Any sort of it's got a yeah.
Okay, well, he said he watched that and then he was fascinated and basically he'd go visit it anytime. So South Korea, not North, obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, he said it's a YouTube channel too.
Is it really?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's good to know. It makes sense. Everything's on YouTube. I'm gonna have to check that out. I really they have some interesting stories.
We have another person that joined in on the chat. I haven't seen before. The name on it is the beach is me and said glad you did a religious painting. That's cool.
Oh well, thank you very much. I've done a Jesus painting before, and I've done paintings of Buddhist monks and
Yeah, and you did.
Dalai Lama.
Yeah, you did. The only two prior Jesus paintings that you did was interesting because you did two very similar and they were virtually the same, head-on sort of image, but you used it was like two different musics for it, so the colors were real different and all that. So that was really
that was fun to do. And I went into it knowing I was thinking I might do like 5 of them. I had
a series, like a Warhol sort of situation going.
Yeah, except each one, instead of being one thing, it's just it's like the same drawing, sort of, except the drawing's maybe a little different, but the same thing. But the only difference is the emotion. So, it's like if you take a person or a model and then you put a different dress on them, and they look completely different. I'm just wondering how different. One of the workshops we do in the museums, we've done this a lot at the Dallas Museum of Art, which I'm going to be there in October if anybody's wants to come take some free workshops and play around with some stuff. One of the things we've done though is we'll have a famous painting, and then they'll use a computer and then they'll print out the same painting, but the colors are radically different. So maybe it's like a painting with a very bright blue background. They'll change it to orange, and everybody feels completely different about the painting. So that was sort of the thing that I wanted to do with that painting. Actually, I'd like to do that again. That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I want to work on this some more. But I also wanted to give somebody, a chance to win something.
Oh, it's the art giveaway time? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, I want to make sure, because I know some people that tune in to the first part, the early, they have to run, and I hate for them to have to run and miss out on that,
All right, you just want to make fun of me, because the new deal is now that I have to be in on this sort of questionnaire situation.
Oh well,
game.
I mean, hey, if you come up with questions, man, I'll.
That's true. That's true. I could give you a quiz.
That's true. And for guys, for you guys that have been here before, and for the guys that haven't, every week, almost every week, we give out some artwork. This week's a little bit different. We thought maybe we usually do a question, like we do a multiple choice question, and then you take the letter and you put it in the comments on YouTube. So if you're watching on Facebook, go over to YouTube. We won't do it till the last question of the quiz. You have plenty of time to go over YouTube, and I'll remind you in the thing in a minute, and we'll put up the link too. Or if you go to YouTube, just type in John Bramblett, and I'll pop up, or our channel will, because the chat's only in YouTube. But the way we've always done it though is you put the letter, for the right answer, A, B, C, or D, and this time it's going to be different. So we're gonna we're starting a game every week where we also play the game, and so the last question of the game is going to be the one where everybody can play and maybe win.
Yeah, and so I want to reiterate, it's the last it's the last question where I will then pay attention to the chat and actually write down who's got the right answer, which that'll be
and we'll and it's all
crazy.
We'll remind you,
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We'll remind you. But I have a Bluetooth thing, so let me tell you that I have the questions here, and I've got my Bluetooth. So I'm not like about to get on the phone or anything. So I'm gonna let y'all know. It's just so I can hear what the heck this thing is telling me.
Okay.
Should we game it?
We're gonna game it.
Oh, speaking of, by the way, before we start,
Yes.
First week of fantasy football. I know this is an art show and whatever.
Oh, here we
but
go.
I have the most
Here
points
we
of
go.
anybody in the entire league.
Everybody's gonna hear about this every week.
The Shots Johnnies are reigning again.
Whatever.
Anyway,
Whatever.
okay.
Whatever.
Game time.
I didn't. Okay, I'm not even gonna go there because a lot of people don't care.
Oh, I care.
All right, game time. All right.
Hey guys,
Okay.
it's time to get our drastic smarts on.
Drastic smarts.
All right. Well, I have 5 questions, and I just want to remind everybody, on the 5th question, if you're on the live chat, be sure and put in the answer, like A, B, C, or D of what you think the answer is, and then we'll get all the answers together, and then we'll draw a name, and that name is going to win the art box
On the last question, though.
on the very last question.
Yes.
So it has the art box with a root beer packet, which is amazing, and the Echo's picture. And
Yeah, I'll show the pack if you want me to.
oh, cool.
You
Yeah.
want me to go to question 1?
Let's do it. All
Okay.
right. So the first question. Edgar Degas was so fascinated with ballet dancers that he blank. So A, he married one. B, made approximately 1,500 paintings, pastels, prints, and drawings of dancers. C, wore ballet shoes in secret. Or D,
That's
he moved
clearly
to a
it.
town where dancing was illegal, falls in love with a defiant teen, ultimately battling her reverend father to loosen things up in the town, foot-wise.
Well, I do feel like D is ridiculous enough that it could be.
Hey, the story had to come from somewhere.
Okay, I'm gonna go with B because everything else is.
Well, ding, 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 you get a point.
Woohoo! All right, so
Jackie won.
B is the answer. Jackie won.
Jackie 1 point?
Yeah.
Well, number 2.
1 versus. Okay, here we go.
Leonardo da Vinci would blank. A, he'd buy caged birds and set them free. B, dance while painting to maintain a rhythm. C, use separate palettes for each color. Or D, often comment on how the guys from Duck Dynasty stole his look.
Yes. There's a picture. Should I show the picture?
Mhm.
Now? Okay. Okay. Okay, he would buy. Okay. Oh gosh. I'm gonna go with part of me wants to like look over at the chat because I feel like some people would be giving me an answer.
Well, you could look and get some.
I can look at the chat.
You know, actually, that we
Is that my lifeline
we
over
ought to
there?
do a lifeline. Yeah, you want to do a lifeline and look at the chat?
I'm gonna look. Okay. I'm gonna look at the chat. All right, so. Well, Witzel's tuned in and he says it's A.
Oh,
I kind of trust Witzel's answer here. So.
Witzel has won before.
Yeah, he has.
I don't know. I think
people
often
are
comment on
saying
how
C.
the guys from Duck Dynasty stole his look.
A few, because that's clearly it.
Or he could see in the future.
Oh my
I
gosh!
feel
A few
like.
people are saying C, which let's see, use separate palettes for each color. Okay, so it's either A or C. Okay, so I'm gonna nix dance while painting in rhythm because that's absurd, and Duck
But I
Dynasty
do.
clearly didn't exist then. So I'm gonna go with A. Buy caged birds and set them free.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh
You
my
got 2
gosh!
points.
What's up?
Witzel got it.
Woo!
Yeah, Leonardo, he was actually a vegetarian. He loved animals, and he would go to the markets. He'd buy caged birds, and just to go home, and then he'd let them out.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, see,
But don't
my
do
thought
that
process,
here.
my thought process in that was completely different because he was so, obsessed with like flight and the way things worked and everything. I figured he was buying birds
Oh.
and setting them free to watch them fly,
Oh, that's interesting.
and then like inventing stuff to go with it. I don't
He
know.
just liked them.
Yeah, no. Okay.
But,
All right.
But which is cool, though. I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
that's all right. Cool. So question 3.
All right. 3. George Brock was the first living person to blank. A. Paint using the newly invented tube paint. B. Have art displayed in the Louvre. C. Use pre-stretched canvases. Or D. Become both a believer and a brony at the same time.
A bully. Oh, that's hilarious.
I hope it wasn't D, because I kind of like the guy. With all respect.
Well, you're not a believer?
Well, brony could be cool, but not a believer. Huh? Gotta draw the line somewhere.
Well, I don't think it's newly invented tube paint. I don't know. This one, I honestly don't know.
You want another lifeline? I could give you the magic erase marker, and you could erase one of the wrong entries.
All right, give me a hint. What is it not?
Oh,
One.
Shoot. You know, I just realized because like well, I could say not A,
Okay, it's not A. Got it.
but you already said it wasn't A.
All right, I'm gonna go with use pre-stretched canvas.
You got one wrong.
What is it?
Have art displayed in the
No,
Louvre.
that makes sense. He's not a believer. That's absurd.
Yeah,
Is
he's not a
everybody-
believer, so he's good.
All right, so it's B.
So it's a win. It is B.
Boop. All right.
I guess before that you had to be dead to get in the Louvre.
Oh wait, so he was. Oh, interesting. Okay. Question 4.
Well, Jackson Pollock often used to blank. A. Use a rolled up newspaper to smear the paint.
Mm-hmm.
B. Abstain from eating until the painting was done. C. Use cigarettes to paint. Or D. Accidentally drink his brush water, which he said tasted like rainbows.
Wow.
Done that.
I was gonna say D is you. That's not Pollock.
It does
That's
not
you.
taste like rainbows at all.
How did? Yeah. I'm gonna say A. I'm gonna say A.
Oh.
Oh
He used
man.
cigarettes to paint.
No, that was gonna be my second choice because I remember seeing the movie and well, he was a gritty
Well,
sort.
the guy, yeah, he used lots of different things, but he was always smoking. In fact, a lot of his paintings have cigarettes ashes and stuff
Really?
that are in them because
Oh yeah, that
he would
like
walk around smoking and is like leaning over him,
Yeah.
go everywhere. But then he would take it and he would dab it and move stuff, and
that's
it was handy.
interesting. Yeah.
You know, the brushes, the knives, all that—they're just tools. So whatever's handy, they can do it.
True
So.
that.
Well,
Okay.
guys, okay, this is question 5. This is the big
Bam.
question. This is the one where you can win the art. So, if you guys are ready,
All right, I'm going
and
over.
put what you think the right answer is. Just put the letter in the comments.
All right, here we go.
All right. Claude Monet's father disapproved of his painting, and he wanted him to be a blank. A grocer. B, a lawyer. C, a doctor. D, anything, just so long as he moved out of his basement.
Oh, all right, that's D.
Probably. God.
I hate to admit it. That's how I'm gonna feel about Jack in 38 years.
No, don't say that. No, I would.
No.
He's always welcome. We don't even have a basement.
Wait.
We're
He's always welcome. Wait, what?
What?
Do we need to have a bigger conversation here? Okay.
A grocer, a lawyer, a doctor, or just get out of the basement.
I'm gonna say
Or
I'm
should,
gonna.
Or should you? Yeah, no, yeah. You say it. 'Cause you,
Well, I don't. I have no idea. Just to the peeps out there that are about to write in on the chat. I'm gonna say lawyer. Why not? I mean, it's either doctor or lawyer. I think I'm grocer. I don't know. I'm gonna say lawyer, but let me. Anybody out there on the chat, okay? Write in the letter that you think it is, and as soon as John says what it is, I'm going to go over to the chat, write all your names down, put it in a hat, we're going to pull it, and then I'll show you what you got. It's going to be a really cool subscription box inspired collection of art things that we dig. So, do you want
just
me to
a
show?
one-time thing.
Do you want me to show it while people are writing in their answer?
Yeah, why don't
Okay.
you show while they're doing that, and then so you guys
Okay.
have a few minutes, and I'll read the question. Claude Monet's father disapproved of his painting and wanted him to be a grocer, a lawyer, a doctor, or anything. Just get out of the basement.
I like that. A D. I'm gonna go with D. Okay, so anybody that gets this anybody that writes this into the chat and gets it correct, I'm gonna put your name in a hat. I'm gonna draw whoever's name I draw. We're gonna send you this really cool art. Well, it's sort of a wacky subscription box inspired thing, and just to give you an idea of what it is, it's gonna have a bunch of random things in it, like a framed canvas thing that you can paint on. It's got a smaller one in the back. And an itty bitty pocket size little thing. It's also got an
little art kit, the pocket size art kit.
Yeah, it's a little bitty pocket size art kit. It'll also have an itty bitty, 5x7 of Echo, which is adorable. And it'll have some buttons with John's art, a guitar pick. Let me show this. A guitar pick of John's stuff. And we're going to, just for kicks.
Some buttons?
Yeah, I'm going to throw some buttons in.
Oh, cool.
And the weird root beer drink that John always is drinking on the show, which
It's
is
delicious.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Southern
great.
treat, like I said before.
Southern treat. I'm going to throw in a packet of crayons. And this is something new. I thought I would throw in some black and white images of John's paintings so that you could experiment and overlay the color on.
Oh, using the crayons?
Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever people
Colored
can figure out.
pencils?
Okay, let's see.
Well, that's a really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so black and white images of John's paintings, and then you could use the crayons to color over them, or you can like do whatever you want. So
Colored
it's
pencils,
yeah, colored pencils, whatever you think. So it'll be like it'll be filled with random things. Okay.
If you want to color that stuff in and share it with us, we'll
Oh,
share
that
it
would be
on the show.
awesome. I would
We're gonna
totally
put
dig
some
that.
coloring books out too. That'll be fun for adults, and
Totally.
that's a good idea.
Well, it's the only kind I have. Okay, so I'm gonna go with B lawyer.
Y'all ready for the answer?
Yes.
All right. Well, it wasn't B.
What is it?
A grocer.
Hey! Wow.
I
Okay.
know, of all the things his dad could have said, like, God, do not be a painter. You need to be a grocer.
I'm sure it was exactly in that accent.
Because his dad had a horrible French accent.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna go back through the chat and dig all the names out and put them in a hat, and then we'll pull the hat off I guess back in the live feed, right?
Yeah, we'll do
Okay.
that then.
So thanks for tuning into the game.
Thanks so much, guys. That's the game.
Okay, so I know everybody in the chat's like, what? Here, I'm going to go over to your painting so you can chat about that, and I'm going to write everybody's name down, and then I'll go back to me and pull it out of the hat. So,
Well, here it is. I lost my brush.
are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are we doing?
You're talking about your painting,
Oh.
and the answer was A, right? Okay.
A grocer. Yeah, so I've got the tree going up, and don't worry, the tree, it's very a typical kind of tree right now. And I think what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go to a different brush, and that's will work. So this is a typical sort of brush. It's kind of the art brush that you would think about. It's a round. Comes to a slight point because I want to start trying to figure out where I'm going to put these other trees, and I don't want to use black. I have my red here just because I'm going to cover them over anyway later. And I'm not sure, I think I might have a tree here. And this red feels a little bit different, so I think I'm going to have one there. And then I can color it in later. This is just to check the placement of it. And then I might have, yeah, that feels good. That feels right. I'm going to have one roughly there. And when it comes to the light poles, I'm doing those over here. Got Echo Fur in here. Echo Furs gets into everything. I know we're talking about Jackson Pollock and he gets cigarette butts and everything. It's Echo Fur for us. That's tends to be the. So I want one right here in the corner, and I want it to be going up. Obviously, I want a light that goes down, the subterranean light. It's different. No one expected it. So.
All right, so I'm gonna go over to me.
Oh, nice. You got them, huh?
Okay, so I went back through the chat and compiled the people that got it right, and it's funny too because we on the chat we took long enough to describe what was in the box that people were like, I should have Googled it.
Oh.
So I appreciate you not Googling it and just giving an answer. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I should have Googled.
I have people in here, with names on it. I'm gonna pull it out.
Dun dun dun. Tongue roll instead of drum roll. The tongue roll, please.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder who won.
Ah! The pressure. Ian.
Oh, hey.
Let me see if I can put that up there. All right.
And didn't you just say that this is Ian's first night
Well,
dinner? Or no?
no, I think he's chatted before. It
Oh,
was
it's
The
on-
Beach Is Me. That was the
Oh,
first one.
okay. My
First
brain.
time I've seen that. But,
My brain.
all right, so this is the deal for anybody out there, if you haven't heard the spiel before. Just email us your address. It's bramblet@gmail.com, and we will mail out the box. Okay, so and then you can open it up and find out what wacky things we stuck inside this thing. It'll be crazy. And if you want, take a picture of yourself with it, and we'll share it across the socials because that's hilarious. So, congrats, Ian! Woo!
Congratulations. That's awesome, man.
So what are you doing now with that thing? What's going on?
Oh, well, I needed more paint. Needed more paint. There. Blah. Okay. So, one thing that I do, I buy my paint in bulk. Generally, I used to not do that, but now I have a giant shelf over there full of paint. It's so much cheaper. It's just ridiculous, and I don't run out. I paint every day, and if I run out, then it's just it's like it's a horrible feeling. So I haven't run out in a long time because I hate that feeling. Like, Jackie, can you go to the store, please?
Valerie said that Jason has the same problem. They have 5 big dogs, so there's a lot of hair all over their place too.
Oh man, yeah. I'm starting to tell people, like, if you don't have echo fur in the painting, then it's not for me. It's probably not.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a quick way to tell whether or not it's a true Bramblet. That's for sure. I know whenever I'm preparing the paintings to be shipped out, it's like I'll try to, pick one out.
Yeah. It's
hey,
rough. And
it's character.
Yeah, it's part of having a black lab, man, or any kind of dog. But oh my word, I've had different breeds, but Echo, she's awesome. But my goodness, I almost think she's gonna go blind. I think she's gonna go blonde one of these. Bald. That's where my brain. I'm like, neither of these words are where I want to go. I lost my mind. So anyway, on the painting right now, I'm just blocking in a little bit more, and I use some of the crimson red to draw because it feels a little bit different to me, and also because if I decide to change it, it'll be easier to cover up than the black. So the red feels different than the black. So I've got these little lines over on the left hand side are gonna end up being light posts. And then back there, and I'm going to have some trees in the back. I'm going to have to wait for that to dry a little. And then over here, I'm going to have some more. And it's going to come in through here a little bit. And then these are actually going to be some trees. I'm not sure if I'm going to put light posts in over here yet. So it just depends on how light and how dark it is. Like if this starts getting more dark over here in the actual painting, then I may end up putting a light post over there.
Really?
Yeah. You gotta get crazy.
What is your tree gonna look like?
Oh, it is gonna look amazing.
Do tell.
Do tell. Here, let me flip this around because I know that we don't have a whole lot of time left tonight, and all. So, but I thought while that part's drying, I get a lot of questions about how to use paint knives. Now, let me step away just for a second because I need to get some purple.
So John's over here digging through his supplies to grab some more purple. What was funny is like earlier today when I was painting that box and thinking, oh, it's gonna get creative. I was like, all your paints are dried up. They're all gone. I was surprised you didn't restock them before the show.
Oh well, Yeah, I'm surprised that they're, yeah. I always paint a lot, but yeah, it took me a little by surprise because I've been using some of the other paints quite a bit, like in the high flow acrylics. Gosh, and then so these. I have another jug. I got another jug.
Where do you buy the giant paint supplies from?
It depends. I go online quite a bit.
It's usually Blick though, right?
Jerry's Artorama,
Okay.
usually, or Dick Blick. But Jerry's Artorama has a lot of good sales. But usually, what I'll do is if I find a brand that I like, but for me, like I may use a student grade, I may use a really high artist grade. I'll go back and forth with them, and the difference between them is how much pigment usually is used with a medium. The student grades usually have less pigments, but I like that they feel different. So I may buy a brand just because, even if it's a student brand because it's looser, and I like that because I can tell the difference in it. So for me, every artist is different, but for me that makes a big difference. So but if I find a brand I like, I'll just find it on sale, and when I find a good sale, or sometimes if you buy in bulk, you can get a really good discount. So.
Well, yeah, you buy in bulk, or man, as much as you hate getting like e-blasts and all that, I know because I monitor John's email as well, and you can get some pretty mad discounts if you sign up for their emails and all that. So.
Yeah, and if you wait a little bit, I mean, like I buy a lot of paint at one time, and then if you wait a bit, they'll send you like a 25% off discount, or if you buy so much, you get
free shipping or something.
Yeah, if you buy like over a certain like $200, $100.
Do you get free shipping on the canvases or something over a certain? Yeah, so I mean, when we buy canvas, we buy it in serious bulk, so it's like a bunch of boxes of 18 by 24s or like that.
Yeah.
And
I used to buy at least 18 by 24s at a time.
Yeah, and you'll get free shipping, which is awesome.
Yeah, and then with that you get a really deep discount on top of that. So it ends up where you're saving an incredible amount of money. And the reason I'm saying this because not everybody needs to get 18, of one size, and then you have bunches of sizes. You don't necessarily need that many, but if you have artist friends, you have other people, you can kind of get together, and a painting that might have cost you like $30 might end up costing you $6 or something. I mean, it's really different. I've become a believer, not a believer. A believer.
Not a believer. Well, I'm gonna go over to the chat for a second. Barb joined us and says, and she was the one that got the cat and fishbowl painting, which is, oh my gosh, one of my favorites. But anyway,
That's cool.
She loves your work and how you talk about animals and how sweet you are with Echo. She just lost her 8-year-old cat Jack to cancer. So
I'm sorry, man.
I know that. I don't even know. Ugh, that's the worst.
I love cats. I'm allergic to cats. We don't have one. I used to have cats. I thought I just had hay fever all the time. Then the doctor was like, "Nope, you're allergic," and we don't have cats now. But man, I am so tempted to get our son Jack a cat.
Yeah, you're crazy though. You I don't know.
Just get like allergy shots or figure out some sort of. I
just
think,
get him a turtle.
Well, a turtle can't. Our son Jack, he has a 2-story bed thing, So like it's got a staircase built into the bed where it's like every stair is a drawer, so he goes up the staircase and gets into bed. It'd be perfect, and it has like these little leaves that come over like actual like giant palm leaves
from IKEA. They're the IKEA leaves. Everybody knows about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tropical. We have a tropical theme in his bedroom, and But it's so cool. They'd be perfect for a cat. He would just say he loves cats. Like he plays with the neighbors' cats, and man. But I'm so sorry about your cat though. That's I think some people think cats aren't is great. Like I love dogs. But cats are just brilliant. I used to have a part Siamese cat that I had a black lab at the time. It wasn't Echo. It was a pet lab, and that retriever would not retrieve anything when you throw a ball, and you try to train it. It was a smart dog. Like it was crazy smart. Like being able to obedience and would lay down. You know, like you would ask it to lay down, and it would hit its jaw on the floor. It would lay down so fast. You know, it was just brilliant. It would walk without a leash, just right next to you, but would not retrieve anything. I could never learn how to retrieve. And that cat I had would retrieve balls for hours. I mean, just I would have to hide the ball because it was like a little jingly ball, and I'd have to hide it because he would just come up to you and he would just hold it and just stare at you until and for an hour, like you watch TV.
That's crazy. That's interesting.
He loved that thing.
Well, on the chat, Kim said her aunt brought over the dogs today, and Stormtrooper wasn't too happy about that, which...
Stormtrooper.
Yeah, it makes me crack up because the name's Stormtrooper. Witzel said, get a hairless cat. LOL.
Yeah. I thought about that, Witzel.
And then Valerie said, you're not allergic to goats. Yeah.
Well, hey. Hey now.
Get Jack a goat.
This is starting to get real.
Well, and Sue said that her niece is severely allergic with asthma, and she now has two. Oh goodness gracious! And you have asthma, so
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean
maybe I've thought about the hairless cat, but the only thing is that I like things really, really cold. And a hairless cat, one of those Sphinx.
Oh, that cat could hang out with me
Oh,
in my electric blanket.
Are you kidding? It probably would never be more than a foot away from you.
I know.
It's freezing to death. It's like, what's going on?
Valerie said her dog hates cats. That think they're snacks. That's funny.
Oh, you got me a snack. Good, thanks.
See, I don't know. I mean, like a cat's. I love cats. I've never had a cat because even when I was younger, my mom was allergic to cats, so we never had cats. But when John and I first started dating, he had a cat named Mojo, who always hung out at the house and.
Magical.
Yeah. It was a big fat cat, but it was super cute. I loved the thing. But it came and went. It was like its own, cat.
Yeah.
And
I'd had a lot of indoor cats, but he was the baby of an outdoor cat, and so he was already an outdoor.
And he was too cool for school. He was very much like, I got this. I'm gonna do my thing. So I have no idea I don't know. I never had a cat. But I did have 10 ferrets at one time. And that was awesome.
I'm sure it smelled like 30 ferrets.
Well, of course.
Yeah, one ferret.
It smelled horrible, but I love those things, so it can't be worse than a goat peeing in its mouth, right?
I don't know. I had a ferret named Calamity.
Well, see, if we kept it down to one ferret, we'd probably be okay.
Probably.
And Jack would clean up after it, in theory.
I love that ferret. It's just sweet. I used to take her everywhere. She was a really little ferret. You put her in, like in the winter, you could put her in your coat.
Yeah. Oh.
She was awesome, and she smelled good though. But I had this ferret.
Did you give her a bath every single day?
No, every week, and with this.
They smell like 2 days after you give them a bath.
No, but it was a special shampoo for ferrets that would just kill that.
Well, then we can get Jack one.
Yeah. If it's as good as Calamity. But which is the name of my ferret. But I found out you have to be careful if you get ferrets because most of them are pets, but sometimes like they're bred for fur in some places in the world, and sometimes they'll come over on the pet trade like that, and they're not the same temperament as the sweet little ferrets we have.
True.
And I put there was this skeezy pet store that I went into once, and they must have had the bad ferrets, and I put my hand in there and came up with an armful of ferrets stuck to it. And they will not let go. They have those sharp little needle teeth.
They do.
It's like,
oh my gosh, it's funny. Some people on the chat are like 10. Oh my gosh.
It was rescued too. You were rescuing, weren't you?
Well, I was. The deal with the ferret situation was. It was weird. When I was younger, like, I was still living at my mom and dad's, my best friend had a white ferret appear at her back door like it was lost. I mean, it's an odd animal to lose. And so I knew what they were because I had always wanted one. And so I snagged that thing and, like, brought it home and was like, this is my new ferret, Mom, by the way. And named it Superfly. And so since then, I sort of...
That ferret never had a chance.
That thing lived it was one of the oldest ferrets I had.
Oh, yeah.
And so since then, I mean,
being cool.
from that point on, it was the coolest ferret in the bunch. But from that point on, I either did buy them, or I dated a guy that also had, a couple. I mean, you know how this works. And so,
you know how the ferret collection happens.
The ferret forums and whatnot. And so I ended up having a slew of these things, and I don't know, it's how it's worked out. But
You're
anyway,
this close from ending up on a reality TV show.
I know.
Like the ferret lady.
And then when John and I started dating, I only had 2 left that were still alive, because I stopped taking them in as rescue ferrets.
Crazy white one.
Well, that was probably Superfly, because that one lived almost the longest. I remember. Well, no, not him. Anyway.
I like them both, but that one though would bite you on the foot if you ever saw a barefoot.
Yes.
It would bite it.
That was the other funny thing, is that I let them run free through my apartment when I was in college, and they would live in the couches of this. I'm telling people way too much information. They lived in the couches at my apartment, and so I would have friends over, and they would be like just sitting, with their feet up on the couch, shoes off or whatever, and all of a sudden this white ferret would pop out of the couch cushions and grab onto their like big toe, and I would die laughing. While they would be like freaking out, but because they got some sharp teeth, but regardless, it was the ferret would get off, but it was just.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad about it. Like he wasn't like the rabbit that wouldn't like he would.
I mean,
they
wouldn't. The jaw wouldn't lock, but it was like, oh my gosh, what was that? And, and then you shake him off and you're good. But yeah, ferrets. We should get Jack one. They're adorable.
You're making a strong point.
I'm selling you. Am I selling you?
Hey, let me.
Okay, I got a close up going on.
Okay. So, what I'm doing up here. Anything to change the subject from just getting 10 ferrets. Please. So, I'm adding a lot of color, and it's really thick sort of paint. So I don't know if you can tell the thickness. Can you tell the thickness with it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
here I might be able to move it.
Here, I'll go to a super close up. Oh yeah, it's nice. It's shiny.
Oh my goodness! You know what? Before I get done with this, I'm going to put a high gloss acrylic. a high gloss varnish on it, and it's going to make the trees look like candy. And so I'm also going to go in. So I'm putting all this paint, and let me know, because I know we're probably going to end the live stream soon. It's getting late and all that, but I do want to say I'm going to keep putting this in there, and I'm going to work down there where I have that down there. But with these trees, I want to show you a bit of the knife work to get an idea. So I'm using this.
Okay, let me really fast, because people are on the chat. Kim wants to know. Is this paint thicker than Heavy Body?
Yes.
So please elaborate on the paint you're using.
All right. Well, is camera turned on?
Here, I'm sorry. Let me go over to it.
I'm using a heavy gel. So this is one. I also have a heavy structure gel.
Cool.
And which might actually be in here, because this is my travel one. I have a travel box next to my feet down here, and so this is a super heavy gel, but I have a heavy structure gel as well, which might even be thicker, and that might be what's in here, because a lot of times I just refill the jars.
So super heavy gel or
heavy structure. Here, let me open this, and if you can look in there, it looks like spackle.
I think the cool aspect of this stuff is that it doesn't dilute the paint color.
Yeah.
Because that's my immediate thing, is like, oh, that's white, so you're going to have pink when you add red, but it doesn't do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing where I painted with oil paints for about 8 years, and whenever you add these heavy gels to them, it actually works like a very thick, viscous sort of oil paint. And a lot of people think I still paint in oils, and I do from time to time, but most of the time it's acrylics, because I can go from a watercolor sort of effect, like I do with the background, to a very thick. So thick where you can actually even carve the paint, which is nice, because you can have the same medium, the same like a paint, so like these big things of paint, and then I can make it so thick it's like a rock, or so runny it's like water paint, but the pigment is still there, and the pigment is still the same. And if the pigment starts becoming too light, then you can take some other high flow acrylics or inks or artist inks, a good high quality one. Those things are laden with pigment. I used to grind my own pigments for paint, and then I started using these different artist inks and things because you just get so much more bang for it. It's easier. It's there. It dilutes right into it. So that's one. It's one way to keep your paint is really bright. So whenever this dries, it's going to keep this color, and then I'm going to go back over it with some washes and glazes that'll make it a little darker in areas. So I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I want to give an idea of shading. So I don't want just the same bright color everywhere, you know. So I'm putting this bright color in. I have it a little darker in the top, but I'm going to go back in with some tints, probably like a burnt sienna tint, where it's just a really thin wash, and put it in some areas to darken it. But that's going to make the other color come through even more and just make it want to pop more.
Well, I should say, Witzel feels like you should do a painting of the Enterprise, and I completely agree.
Well, I think you guys are right. That would be cool.
But then I wouldn't be able to part with it, so.
Oh, well. Don't talk crazy. Don't you talk crazy.
All right.
So this is
the beginnings of it.
Yeah. So I think I'm probably gonna have to call this a night here pretty soon. I
Okay,
can work on this. I mean, if we have more time, I can work on this down here. But all that, I need to let that part dry.
Well, scoot it up. Yeah, scoot it up so that we can just scoot it up all the way to the edge, and so we can see and then you can kind of go down and
okay.
talk about what you're doing to it. You're
All right.
going to do to it.
Well, down here I have you can sort of see where the road is going to be, and I'm going to make it wetter and wetter. Wetter. That sounds. I'm going to give it more of a wet look. Is the idea. So I'm going to darken it here, and then I'm going to add lighter colors up here, and then so it gradually becomes a little darker. And then once I've got that, I'm going to add some titanium white ripples in it, and I'm going to go in with some really high intensity transparent sort of color. So it's very watery color, but it's going to leave some very bright, some intense brightness. And that's one of the things that I love about a painting like this is that you can get these really bright colors. And the background up here, so over here, I'm going to do sort of the same thing, but this is a bit of a mystery. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. Like I have some ideas. One of them is to put in some bushes and some different things. Other is just to make it more of a grassy kind of area. I don't know. I'm not sure. I might put in some more trees. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to work on this area over here, and then that's going to tell me what I want to do over here, I think. Up here, I'm going to have more trees, and it's going to get a little darker on the peripheries and lighter towards the middle. And in the middle, it's going to get a lot lighter. And there's going to be branches going across, and it's just going to be the type of pathway that instead of it being like scary, like it's a park at night, like I'm going to get bugged. It's going to be the anti that. It's just going to be this beautiful place of joy, and where these two romantics over here are having a moment alone. And for them, I'm not sure what colors I'm going to pick for them yet. I'm not sure. I don't know. I kind of want to give her a red skirt, but I kind of don't. Also, sort of want to do a purple, or a violet. I don't know. Maybe a light blue. I'm gonna wait and look at the background and let that all kind of gel together, and then see what would make them pop a little bit, and give them some character. Up here is the really thick part of the paint. One thing you have to think about when you're doing a painting is the texture. The heavy texture, that can also mean heavy emotion, a lot of emotion, intense feelings. Thinner can mean, less so. It doesn't have to be that way, though. Also, though, whenever you decide on how thick you want the paint, one consideration, though, is how much detail do you want. A lot of times I'll have a painting where I have both. I'll have thick areas and thin areas. The thin areas I'll have more detail, and it's more contemplative, I guess. There's more kind of going on there that gives you something to think about, and then the thicker areas are more the emotion and the feelings behind that. So they kind of work together. Anyway, that's my idea of why a lot of my paintings are like that. I use the thick paint for the emotion, the feeling, the ambiance, what makes something what it is, really.
Yeah.
And then the detail, to tell you the skin and bones of the subject. So I'm going to work on this some more. I think I'm going to have to let it dry, though. I think we usually hit that point on every live show where I'm at a point where things are so wet.
Well, True that. Let me quickly go over to the chat just to make sure we've answered everything or talked about everything. Ian said, which Enterprise, or maybe all the Enterprise lined up together?
Ooh.
You should paint.
Well, Picard went through a few.
Well, I think
that guy cannot.
I think you should paint the original TNG, which is, you know.
Well, he went through like a bunch
Well, yeah,
of
but
them. Like he went through Enterprises like they were tissues coming out of a box.
well, you know, man's got to do what a man's got to do. So.
But I love Picard. You know.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
wouldn't loan him my car. but I love Picard.
Okay, so, and then I think we've covered everybody. Cool.
Well, guys, thank y'all. And, I think I'm going to stop here for a bit and let it gel a little bit. And, so I can decide where I want to take it from here. But I'm going to finish this painting, and then I'm going to upload it, and we'll have it for Technique of the Week on Tuesday. On Monday, we're going to have the Damn Fast, the Jurassic Art Measures Fast Show, which will be the Jesus painting. So we'll cut that this weekend. We'll put it on Monday, and Wednesday. We'll play the game. We'll show the game, and then, and then Thursday. What do we do Thursday? Well, we usually have the news, but we want to do the news is on the live show. So we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. We'll figure this out. But
and we're so close to 500 subscribers.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna throw a party. I was thinking if we ever get to I need to pick if we ever get to 1,000 subscribers, we need to do something. We need to have a thing.
We should
Get like a giant dinosaur bone for Echo to chew on or something. I don't know.
T-Rex Fight Club.
That would work.
I'm just throwing ideas out there. I have no idea.
I don't have to fight the T-Rex too.
Well, no, I mean get them in some outfits.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Cool.
I'm the idea person.
If anybody has any ideas that doesn't involve getting 10 ferrets or a goat, be sure to let us know.
Alright guys, well thanks for tuning in to Jurassic Art Measures.
Thanks guys, have a good week.
For sure.
You're crazy.